skinny cat, right?
Yeah,
Looked
bald
like he was
dude.
special ops or whatever. He just poke out of nowhere, just be there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he'd
got you.
be like, yeah, man. He yeah, man. Like he just had this like cool little, vibe to him and stuff like that. Um, and I remember him asking me if I was a brother at one point. And you know that term, if somebody asking if you a brother.
What are you talking
Mason,
about? Are you talking about
Mason.
Mason?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that was linked to masonry.
He was, or he is.
Okay.
So
Smoking on what's the name tonight. What up,
but
everybody? Sticks and Convos. I went live on IG with through the Sticks and Convos platform.
okay.
I forgot all about it. I don't know. But we here now. Hey, join us, Sticks and Convos. Let's go. So what we was talking about previously, we was talking about college and the route of path that we have taken in our lives, and what we was talking about previously before we was really interrupted by the iPhone cutting off. Do we have any regrets from the age of 18? I highlight 18 because that is the quote unquote you're supposed to be a man in the United States, or a woman in the United States. You're on your own. You could do some legal things when you're 18 years old. So, from the age of 18 to now, whatever your age is right now, do you have some regrets or remorse, or I'm gonna add something into it, like, do you wish you would have did something in your earlier years that may have catapult you to different heights. Um so that's where we at right now. I know for myself,
Yeah, I was
from
about to say yeah.
18 years old to now, um I feel like with the information and knowledge I have right now, I'm gonna say the same thing as you, to an extent where I wish I would have stuck to something and went down that route, and really just mastered that craft, or whatever. From I had a clothing line, had a trucking business, I had a shoe company. Um, now I have an Amazon business. Um, just different things that I've had over the course of time. Um, Multi-level marketing, business. Even now that I personally don't like that business model, but I can see a lot of benefits of that business model. I'm not gonna get in depth into that, but I wish I would have kept with something, and I do one thing. One thing I do regret, I would say this, and this is something where, uh, to the point of not knowing what you don't know, right? I do wish I would have got a mentor, a good mentor, earlier. I wish I would have got a mentor at 18 years old. Actually, I wish I would have tried to find it, because we had the internet at 16 years old. Yeah, the internet was booming at 16. MySpace, or not MySpace. No, that was beforehand. But when we was 16, 15 years old, maybe even, yeah, 14. I think 14 was 2007 for me. And that's when Facebook, YouTube, you know, all that stuff was popping. We had Google. Google been around for, over a decade at that point. And I just wish that I would have saw those things, and realized what we had going on during that time, and just kept the route, kept the course, and maybe it would have turned out to something different. But at the same token, on the other side of the token, the different face of it is, I'm glad that I experienced everything that I experienced, because if I haven't experienced that, I won't be sitting here today talking to you like this. So so like mentorship and focus was my regrets, you know, 10 years ago or whatever the case may be at this point, 10 years ago. And that's my regrets. Now that I know that and I have control of that and I have the information and the resources, mentorship and focus is like my number one thing at this point. Because it's like if you have focus, you have consistency. If you have mentorship, they can guide you on the path. You said what?
You have accountability.
Yeah, you got accountability. They know the ins and out of whatever industry that you're in. So you're not blindsided by different things. You can ask questions and things. Oh, a whole bunch of, whole bunch of stuff. So I feel like for me, that was my regret is just, lack of focus and mentorship at an earlier age. But like I said, if I didn't go through those pillars of experiences, then I won't be here talking to you the way I'm talking to now. So
And that right there is profound. If they, since you said we're on IG Live, right?
yeah, we on IG Live.
So I didn't share. Well, I don't think they heard my part, right? When you first posed the question, did they hear my part, or did you just start doing
No,
IG Live?
no. Yeah, I just now started going IG Live.
All right. Well, to sum it up, I'm not going to go too much in depth, but as Bobby was saying, when he asked the question, I had started, and he was saying similar to my answer because I mentioned that I should have stuck to something, honed in on it, and saw it all the way through, or at least a good way or a good amount through. But for me, it was like I just got bored easily. And I'm not hyping myself up but I did have like an internal conceited mindset where I was just like, okay, I pretty much conquered certain goals that it would take certain people longer or maybe a lifetime, if that, to conquer. I did this in this amount of time, so I'm good. I'm gonna go off to the next thing.
Yeah.
So I just wasn't as focused in that regard. I was just too. It's a gift and a curse, and I always say it. I talk about it in different facets that it's a gift and a curse being multi-talented.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, you can have different talents and stuff, but a skill is what takes you to the next level.
Yeah. Definitely.
And a skill is based on timeless, like just spending timeless hours, months, days, years practicing, repetitive, and then eventually you'll innovate in that realm of what you're practicing, but you're continually doing it and not worrying about, I'm bored by it.
What was one skill that you tried and you decided to move on to another skill, trying to learn something else? What was one skill that you wish you would have kept in like the entrepreneurship type of realm? Because that's where we're at right now. But what skill that you believe that you should have just kept at it? So at this point now, right now, smoking your cigar right now, you like, shit, I don't got to work for the rest of my life.
I could have been like this one guy I saw on TikTok who ended up retiring as a software engineer. He was a master software developer.
Yeah.
He used to work for Netflix and whatnot. He retired at 30.
Yeah.
Had a great pension, had great stock in the company and everything like that. And he started his journey literally 10 years prior.
Yeah.
That's what I should have done, because I started out with HTML, CSS. And that's what a lot of people don't know that about me, that I did coding a couple years in high school and then a little bit outside on my own. volition. I did it outside of high school.
And this is what, back in like 2007,
2012. Yeah, 20. Yeah, like okay, starting 2009, and then did it from 2009 to 2010, and then I picked it back up again. Oh yeah. It's okay. Yeah, it was blurred. The blur was.
Hold on, let me take the blur off. So that's the cigar I'm smoking right here.
Yep. That shit is right, dog. Tastes good, don't it?
Bro, it's good, man. I don't even need a drink. I don't even have a drink with me. I don't even need a drink with the cigar.
No, you don't. You really don't. Like you can have some grape juice or cranberry juice. I mean, I usually have that.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. So, like I said, man, I picked it back up for another 2 years after high school, and then I just dropped it because I was in a predicament in my life at that time, being homeless and all that, and there's just too much of those external influences that was not allowing me to hone in on what was important. So I had to do what I had to do to get by.
Yeah.
And get myself out of that. Get by and get out.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? And then after that, then I would focus on back on that. But I never ended up getting back, or I didn't end up getting back into that up until recently.
I was watching EYL, Earn Your Leisure podcast. Shout out to Earn Your Leisure. But
yep, shout out.
They were saying that it's very difficult to build and survive at the same time. It's extremely, I mean, there's people who does it, but it's hard trying to survive with your everyday needs, your house, your water, your car, going back and forth to work, food, whatever the case may be, whatever, your personal basic necessities for life. It's hard to do that and build at the same time, because as you're trying to build, the survival aspect is taken away from what is being built. So
exactly.
Doing that, even with me, like I was in that phase for a while. Like I'm trying to build, boom, something happened, boy. I need to take them bricks back down, man.
let me go ahead, Robin Hood, hurry up and let me get that money out.
Yeah, man. Let me take that money out, man. So I can go and do what I can do.
Fit this bill and shit. I mean, come on, man. We gotta keep it real, bro. Like I don't know how many times I let you out of Robin Hood and shit like that to fit some bills, dog.
And then Robin Hood made it even easier with the deal, the spin card. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. It ended up I ended up putting bills in that name, or putting bills on that card, dog. For real. I was like, this is just getting ridiculous. I'm not gonna be waiting for a week and a half for my fucking money.
Right. And then Acorns, they did the same thing where you have like a little spin card or whatever, so you can cash your investments for, I don't know, what's Acorns is what, like a Roth.
It's an IRA. It's a brokerage account.
It's a brokerage account.
Yeah, that's what Acorns is. It's a modern day. It's a tech brokerage account.
Sure. They made it even easier where they had the spend account function where you just get a card and boom, you can spend whatever you want to spend on it. So
exactly.
And that's another thing. If you're always in survivor mode, you're trying to build something, whatever you build is being taken away. And then it comes to a factor of, once you build something to a certain level, your survival instinct is like, oh, I never had, so let me go get this. Let me go get materialistic things because I never had something like this and I always wanted it. So let me go and spend some money on that. Boom, I got it. Now you clothe yourself, you protect yourself from materialistic, stuff to prove your value. But your main value is within your mind, your body, your emotional, your spiritual, along with your financial. So like that's a whole nother thing. I don't want to get too deep in that. But yeah, it's very interesting how like how we grew up, and the routes that we took, or the routes that we are taking, has led us to where we at now and where we want to be. Like, my mind has shifted tremendously within the last 2 years of mentorship and focus, like, to a whole nother level. Even when it comes towards, like, my mindset, like business. I used to think like business mindset was crazy. Like, I didn't think, like, I was like, man, business, my guy. I mean, I got a strong mind. I got a strong will. Like, like consistency. Okay. But
Yeah.
I was like, man, that stuff don't matter, man. I need to make money. I need to make some money. And that's the survival instinct of what I had. I was like, I need to make some money. Shoot, forget my mindset, man. My business mindset. I need to make some bread. So, let them last 2 years, like, business mindset in general, has really changed me. I'll say 360, because it allowed me to focus, be consistent, slow down, learn what I'm learning, and just continuously build on what I have and what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. You mean 180? It's changed you 180?
Yeah, my bad. 180. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm still
Yeah.
working on myself.
Okay.
So, I still need another.
Still need another 180. Come back right around. But no, but yeah, business mindset is important, because business is not just about having a source that makes you money and gets you revenue and everything. That's what everybody looks at mainly. They're like, that's why this is the age where people are like, wanting to have their own business, be an entrepreneur and all this other hot shit. But you know, not understanding that you got to still learn principles, business ethics. There's still methodologies dealing with business. It's calculated. You
Yeah.
still have to have, that's why a lot of people like, while it's cool, with the mindset thing, and people have the motivation, these gurus out there got the motivation and all that. But for me, I'm a step-by-step type of person, mostly. So it's like, all right, I need to know, all right, this is step one to take care, I got to take care of this this is step one to opening the business. And step two, then here, then here, then here, and then it just flows from there.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because, you tell people, hey, go start this today, because this does this and da-da-da, and they give you all this motivation and hoopla and all that. And then next thing you know, people go and then they just fall right on their face. A month later, they like, I don't want to do this shit no more. You know what I'm saying? So that's the pitfalls of that. Not saying, like I said, not saying that, a lot of the gurus that, talk about business and give it a little bit of advice on business. Not saying it isn't palatable or anything, palatable advice, but an applicable advice, but it's to an extent applicable.
Yeah. A whole bunch of different elements to bring it together.
Right.
Many elements to bring it together. Not just one thing. Like, I would say one thing that you said that was very powerful is knowing your numbers in business, obviously. Because if you don't know your numbers, where you're going, it's more of a hobby than an actual business.
Exactly. Indeed. Know your numbers, know your market. Know your numbers, know your market. We can't get into the business without, a lot of people are like, they get so high strung and wanting to start the business, and then you're like, okay, who's your top 5 competition? You know what I'm saying? And then they can't spit that off to you. And you're like, well, you're not ready to start your business.
Yeah.
You're like, but I know my idea. Yeah. A lot of businesses these days are just being rebranded. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's what it comes down to. How is your rebranding going to get the attention of people, of the market?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my thing on that, man. But yeah, bro, I know we was wanting to talk about family and having children and that type of topic, man. We went in talking about going back into business and shit again, bro. Bro, we went totally off.
Yo, that was the initial premise of this video. Just talking about, family, kids, stuff like that. And shoot, we can still talk about it. Splice it up, blah blah blah. Have 2 videos for one. So a 2 for 1.
Indeed. So go ahead.
So yeah, to transition over to the topic that we was originally intended to talk about, which is being married, or the principle of marriage, along with children. So I guess I can start it off. From as long as I can remember, I always wanted to be married. Always. I was never the guy to be going here, going there, boom, boom, this chick, blah, blah, blah. I always wanted to be married because I like peace. I love peace. I love just being that guy to one person and not being split up to multiple people, or, getting done with one relationship and then going with another, or whatever, within a short time frame, things of that nature. So that was just me. I always wanted to have kids. I want a big family. So the significance of being married is very important to me, because it's a closer relationship with God, and His purpose for His people. So I ended there.
I realized maybe settling down ain't so bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it definitely can. And I know we've had several talks on shit like that offline. Look at that boy's face. Look at that boy. Look at that boy's face. Y'all see that boy? See that boy? Shit. When it comes to marriage and shit like that, man, it's all about knowing that, like, having somebody, the way I look at it is having somebody, go through the woes of life with you. And, it's you and them against the world. That's how I look at it. My form of peace, as you mentioned with peace, my form of peace is that you respect me. That's it. You respect boundaries that is set.
And that goes both ways, right?
Yeah, that goes both ways.
Yeah,
it goes both ways. You respect that. I'm cool with that. you're gonna have your banner and stuff, and from time to time with your spouse or your partner, whatever, you're gonna have that from time to time, you know. Especially me, like, being with who I'm with, we're both type A personalities.
Yeah.
So, we've definitely knocked heads, sometimes, several times. But
You
at the
think
end of the day,
you think that's healthy?
for me, I think it's healthy to get it out.
Yeah.
Get that shit, get that shit out. Cause yeah, we are early in the early stages, almost 6 months.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So um it's I think it's imperative to get that shit out early.
Yeah. And that's a form of communication, right?
Right.
Well, definitely. Because I think the hardest, well, I don't want to say the hardest. I'm not gonna say the hardest. One of the hardest things with marriage or relationship, whatever the case may be, even when it comes down to children, is communication. Because it's like my way of my way of communicating is different from how they will receive it the best. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, like say, so for an example, my wife. With my wife, I have to explain everything out, like to like smallest detail, explain everything out. I'm not like that. If
Mm-hmm.
you just tell me the highlights of the game, I'm good. But that's my way of communicating. Just tell me the highlights. I'm good. But with my wife,
Right.
I got you know every
Play
detail,
by.
play by play. Yeah. So and that's that I'm learning in that aspect. Uh, when I'm speaking to my wife or talking to my wife about something, to you know shine every detail. And that's hard because it's like we only been we've been married for going on 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, we've been married for going on 2 years, and we've been together for about going on 4 years. So, like, subtract 4 years from each other's lives, we have 20 plus years of the way we've been communicating. So it's like that style of communicating is not just gonna go away just like that. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time to build. And then you got to keep it in effect that the way you met your wife or your spouse is not who they are at this point, at this current time. They change, they develop, and things of that nature. So the way you was communicating with your spouse, like I used to get away with just, shining the highlights of whatever I was talking about. I used to get away with that in the earlier part of my relationship. But now it's not like that. I gotta detail that shit out, It's so it's like on that on that spectrum, really understanding my wife every day and not just letting life go by with work, with responsibilities, things like that, things of that nature, but really still at this point, even if it's 4 years being in together or 50 years, like your grandparents was together 50 years, right?
No, a pastor that the church I went to growing up. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So like your pastor was together for 50 years. I guarantee you, he'll say, yeah, communication and always getting to know your partner is definitely keys to the game.
Yeah, most definitely. I know, like, when my wifey here, my lady here, she same way about intricate details, and I be fussing at her. I'll be like, I don't need to do all that. I don't do all that shit. We be laughing about it too. I be like, look, I'm a man. I'm gonna communicate the way a man communicates and understand this. I give you I give you enough details to where you can decipher what I'm saying. You are intelligent enough to do so. If you having me speak more than I need to speak, then there's an issue. And I say that because I say that not to sound like an asshole, but it's just like for me, I'm like, if I have to give play by play, unless it's necessary for me to give play by play, if there's certain things you can decipher, I'm not doing Morse code when I talk to her.
Yeah.
I'm telling her exactly what needs to be done directly. She knows I'm direct. She likes that I'm direct, and gets to the point. But then it's like okay, then you're like, oh well, you didn't tell me that part. Well, yes, I did, but I told you that. You went over there and did that after I said don't do that. But at the end of the day, no, it's a give and take, you know what I'm saying, in all seriousness. So, I understand that, yeah. There's certain things that should be explained play by play, especially if there's gray areas
Yeah.
in the situation.
You think that's a huge problem? I don't say a problem or issue. You think that's the way men communicate is through, highlights of a certain situation instead of communicating the whole play detail by detail?
Yeah, because we're real general. We're real general. I mean, we've already thought about the logic of the situation, and so we've simplified it.
Yeah.
Whereas with women, they're going through the logic process.
Mm.
So we've already gone through it and we simplify. So by the time we convey it, it's like, okay, wait, you conveying it the way you've already dissected it.
Mm. Yeah. You already dissected it into your way of communicating.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's where the not disparity, I should say, is the disconnect. What happened is because she has yet to dissect it. And so she's like, okay, look, I'm counting on you to dissect it. And then I'm on your team after that. That makes sense.
Yeah, most definitely. You think it would be a different situation if it was on the other side? Like you was a detail-oriented person when it comes to explaining situations or whatever, and she was just a highlight, detail or like big highlights or whatever when it comes to situation. You think it would be the issue of the other, on the flip side of it, or?
Oh yeah, most definitely, because you're going to, like you mentioned earlier, it's going about what you're used to doing, right? So when you've practiced something for so long, like you said earlier, it's going to take some unlearning or basically what's the word I want to say? Refining. It's not the word I want to use, but you can use that. Just refining that method of how you approach it. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said before, I could say something direct, and while she doesn't mind me being direct, I mean, in other instances and stuff like that, it's like then when it comes to like just me and her behind closed doors, it's like, okay, I don't need you to be direct at this point because we end up dropping the ball somewhere over here. So I actually needed you to give me this detail here and that detail. And so I'd be like, all right, at first it's a little bit of a battle, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, I swear I mentioned that part. I swear this was clear. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what more can I how more can I dumb it down, or do I need to do that or whatever? And stuff like that. Yeah. But it's like, and it's not, when I say dumb it down, I say it as a term of endearment. It's not to be condescending.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you need me to simplify it more than what I've already done? Huh?
Yeah, because I understand. Because it's like if that same information was coming back to you, it's like, oh yeah, shit, yeah, it's crystal clear.
Right, right, right.
I don't need nothing else. If you say something more, then it's like, all right, bro, like come on now, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Uh,
Yeah.
for real, for real. Now that you have Novi, you know what I'm saying? Baby Novi, she basically a grown woman now,
Mm-mm.
growing beautifully.
Yeah, don't say that.
Don't.
I almost
She
choked
be
on his
acting all
boat. Yeah.
she be acting all grown and shit. I'm like what is that? Is that how it is now? You don't want to say what's up? You grew out of uncle. What's up? Stuff. Yeah. Thank you, baby. And so I'm like,
Sheesh.
brought to yours truly by wifey.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers. But man, how like explain to me your feelings all entirely, you know, the challenges, the easy parts, everything.
I think I'll start here. I think the easiest part for me, and that's just my nature, is to show up. Be there, show up every day, be there. Um, that's the easiest part for me. Um, but the hardest part is really she's too young for me to even realize this. She's showing signs of here and there, but the hardest part is really how can I say this? Um, Raising her the best way she can receive the information, if I'm saying that correctly, right? Because it's like in the past, our mom, dad, grandma, granddad, blah blah blah, down the line, I'm gonna raise you the way I was raised. I'm gonna raise you to a point where I got whoopings. I don't see no problem with whoopings, or you know, there's different different elements of it, of parenting or whatever the case may be. And there was no education behind the way our parents raised us. And I'm not saying the way our parents raised us was bad or good, or that that's what they did and they did it to the best of their ability. Our parents was phenomenal. Um, and what they was able to do and provide for us and shit, we're still living shit. So they did something right. But I would say there was no like professional knowledge of like how to raise a kid based on their learning style, based on their their personality, things of that nature. Like for an example, like for you and your parents, they embraced the fact that you was talented. So football, music, all that stuff. They knew who you was. They knew that you was talented, and they'll let you explore because you was an inquisitive, kid. For me, um, I always loved business, so my mom and dad let me explore in that facet, and really embrace that side of me and push me to different heights of business and my knowledge in that industry. So uh, right now she's too young. She's only 1 year old, so she's too young for me to even know like which route. Because for me, I would love to raise her with a business mindset, and which I still will raise her that way because life is business. Whether if you have a job or if you have an actual business, life is business. So to have that skill is something that she's definitely going to need. Now, if she's going to grow up to like business, no, I don't know. Who knows? We don't know. She doesn't even know. So I know for me, the most challenging part is understanding who my child is and raising them in that lane, so to speak. Because this is, I mean, it's my first child. This is, I don't know. I do my best at what I can do. And that's what every parent does. They do their best at what they can do. So, but I want to take it one step further in applying knowledge in those realms of raising my kid, like communicating, different styles of communicating. What is communicating? Networking, stuff like that. How to balance books, how to just different things that for me personally, I would say this, different things like I wasn't taught how to balance a checkbook. I wasn't even taught how to write a check. I didn't even know how to, I haven't wrote it. I still have trouble writing checks because it's something that I was never taught. Yes, I can learn, but now at this time and age, it's like, or this time in the world, like no one uses checks anymore. What does credit look like? What does different things look like? So I know from a male perspective of equipping my kids with, those skills. So when they get out in the age, get out in the world where, they'll be able to, handle themselves. What you got? Word of wisdom. What you got for the people? Word of wisdom to end it off.
Word of wisdom. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Say that again. Say that again. Say that again for the people.
All right, now listen up. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Say that one more time, man. Let's say that one more time. Say that one more time.
You always gotta do some mad niggerish.
He was mad niggerish.
No, listen, no. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah, that was good. That was good, man. That's good.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, y'all. We're going to get off of here. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, like the button. And we out.
We out here.